All right, guys, what is up? What is good? What's cracking? I am Seth.
I'm Sarah.
And this is our podcast called Wait Pause, episode number 1.
Ooh.
Gang.
Get excited, folks.
I'm so excited. We watched Antebellum this week.
Oh, What a film.
What a film.
We've got some thoughts.
We do. If you guys don't know, a lot of people won't know. It's our first episode. Now I'm thinking about it. We will be watching and reviewing your most favorite, worst,
Just any movie.
good, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. Movies, TV shows.
Nothing is safe.
Nothing's safe. And we're coming for throats. Because why not? We don't always look for the bad, but Sarah and I normally watch movies all the time and we just talk throughout the whole movie because we're like, that made no sense. Like,
We just figured may as well tell everybody our thoughts because,
why not?
you know, our thoughts are correct.
Right. We're right and you're wrong. No, kidding. We are in quarantine right now. We live together. We're roommates. So we have nothing to do but watch movies.
Just very much bored. Everything at school has been canceled and put online. We're not going to talk about that, but...
This is a safe place. We will not talk about school.
CCM, never heard of her.
We don't know her at all. So yeah, we're just going to talk about Antebellum, and we already filmed our initial reactions because we filmed when we were watching the movie. So we're going to insert clips as like throughout. So we might do like a chunk here, a chunk there. But either way, you'll get to hear some of our first reactions from just like watching the movie too. Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun, but that'll come later. Later. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Antebellum. All right. So this runtime is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Too long, in my opinion.
Much too long.
On paper, like 1 hour and 45 minutes seems like not that long, to be quite honest. But like,
just the way that it played out, the way that they timed things made it feel like it was
ages, like
a million years long.
Yeah, I feel like I was like watching Harry Potter, and I was like, this needs to end, you know? Mm-hmm. This movie is rated R, rated E for everyone. No, okay. Rated R, came out this year in like September, okay? It's marketed, okay. Amazon said it was a suspense movie because I went back, and you'll hear this in our little funny comments when I was like, wait, this can't be a horror movie. And it says suspense, but Amazon lied because Google says horror and thriller, which is what I thought it was.
Yes.
So
also, like, I looked at like a couple of reviews. Both of them said that they were horror suspense. And I'm like, where's the horror?
Where's the horror?
Like, I'm not scared.
The horror has left the chat. We missed her.
Where is she?
Clearly not there. So, yeah, all this is per my Google search. So the directors are Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz. They're actually a couple, I think. But this is their directorial debut.
Ooh.
I mean, they have room to grow.
Yeah.
Like, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to let you finish.
We do this all the time, guys. We're going to just cut each other off because we say the same phrases at the same time.
Literally.
I feel like we'll do it a few times on here, too. Like, it's crazy. We lived together too long, but continue.
What were we even talking about?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
What were we saying? We said it's those two. Oh, directorial debuts. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they have lots of room to grow. I feel like it was a good first movie, but like it got like a lot of attention for it to be a first movie. I guess it's because like the cast, like especially because like Janelle Monáe's in it.
Yeah, they had some heavy hitters in the cast for sure, but like the trailers were good. Like I just watched some trailers and they were bomb.
Yeah, I like. Apparently they... Okay, well, first of all, there is a twist in this movie. We'll get into that, but
we will. Oh, if we didn't say this podcast will have many spoilers. We are going in on this movie, okay? Yes. So, like, if you have not seen it and you want to see it, you should probably stop this now and go watch it and then come back. Yeah. Or if you truly don't care, like... keep listening. Yeah.
If you don't plan on watching it and you just want to listen to us rant, go ahead.
Just keep listening, but continue.
Anyway, so I heard that they like put the trailers out the way that they did so that way it would like throw off the audience so they wouldn't like catch on to the twist until they actually watch the movie. And I'm like, okay, well then you're just like advertising for a different movie at that point.
Like I feel like you can't trick me with a trailer. Yeah. Like to an extent, I mean I guess I get it, but like
but
no.
Like, if I'm getting excited for like one type of movie and then like I watch the movie and I'm like, this is
not what I thought it was. Yeah. Which I mean sometimes movies happen that way, but like the fact that they were actively pushing to like like not okay. And also if you hear our cat, we apologize.
She just loves to cry.
She loves
There
to
she
feel
is.
like she's being neglected, even though her owner is in the other room.
And she could definitely access her right now. Just walk into her room.
She just has to walk around the corner. Like, I'm
Yeah.
confused as to why she's...
She's pawing under the door and crying.
Oh my
Ignore
gosh.
her. She's being dramatic.
She's being dramatic. She's fine. She's well fed. I promise you. I can't even talk.
Directorial.
Yes, there we go. I'm going to keep that in. Directorial debut by these two. It's a $15 million budget. They only grossed like $6.2 million.
I mean, like, part of that could be because of COVID. And they
I feel
can't, like, get ticket sales. You gotta buy the, like, you gotta rent the $20.
And I don't know, something about renting a movie for $20 seems like excessive. But when we go to the movies, in theory, we're paying... You go to AMC or, like, without, like, a coupon on a Saturday, like, you're paying upwards of $20 to get in per adult. So, like...
I guess I can see
I don't know. I guess people see 20 and they're like, ooh, because I was like, are we sure we want to watch this movie? But we did it for you guys. IMDb rating is 5.5 out of 10. So half the people liked it, half the people didn't. We'll get into that.
Yes.
And Rotten Tomatoes rating is 28%. A whopping 28%. Oh.
So, we're seeing the overall thoughts.
We're seeing a trend, a downward trend at that. Like,
Yes.
alrighty, so we're just gonna get into this little review. Let's start. So we are in Louisiana on a plantation. Opening scene. Super slow shot. Super what?
What do you mean?
What was I saying? Slow pan.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I was
Okay.
going for. So it's a slow pan shot. Apparently it was a continuous shot. That's what the director said.
Oh, that whole, like, first little sequence thing. Okay.
Like from the front to the back to where everything was like going down. It's like one shot. So
Nice.
I will say cinematography in here, like
Yeah, that was good.
the movie looked good. Like, not gonna front there.
Content-wise, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So this little plantation that we're on is run by this Confederate Army camp doohickey. Okay. We learned that there's slaves, there's soldiers, corporals, there's a family that lives there who runs the plantation. We learn all this in like the first 5 minutes, just visually, not even any dialogue, really. We're on this plantation and we see these two slaves like trying to escape.
And
Yeah.
they're like for some reason they're like walking back towards the like plantation, which we were confused about.
Yeah.
Because like if you're running away, why are you walking back towards us right now?
But I'm
Did you forget
assuming,
something?
yeah, they were escaping. I think they were walking back because they knew they were caught, like type thing. Like, you know what I mean? It was like one of those like, we're defeated, like we're gonna just stop at this point. But yeah, my guy got dragged back and his wife just got like, obliterated. Were you gonna say that?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Obliterated.
Obliterated on sight in front of him by these soldiers. And then we see them drag her body back on a noose. Like, they have a noose, like a lasso around her neck. She gets dragged through the grass back to camp.
And then we don't see her for a while.
And we don't see her, but we figure out where she is a little later
Little bit.
in the story. And then we eventually go over to Eden, which is played by Janelle Monáe, Queen. She did so good in this movie, even though the material was a little...
Something.
She did good. So we see her and her slave master, which is, I guess, the owner of this camp. But they call him the corporal, which is like...
Which one is that guy? Is he
He's the old man, the Psychowitz.
Okay,
You know?
Psychowitz, yeah. Okay, guys. When we were watching the movie, I was like, is this man the guy that played Psychowitz in Victorious?
And I
it
was
turns
like-
out it was.
It was. Eric Lange?
Eric Lang, I think.
I probably should have looked it up before we started, but oh well.
It's fine.
That's his name. You can search it. Yeah, played Psychowitz in Victorious. So he branded my girl, Janelle, well, Eden, let me call her by her real name. He branded her because he was mad that she would not say her slave name. Because upon arrival at this plantation, the like mom or wife, which is his daughter, by the way. We'll also get into that later.
Wait.
Yeah, I know. Elizabeth, the like lady who has the little girl,
yeah.
that's his daughter.
Okay. So they're not husband wife with a child.
No.
It is
The husband and wife
father,
is
daughter with another daughter.
Yes,
He's a
the husband and
grandfather.
wife are Jasper,
Okay.
the wax figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's Madame Tussauds wax figure, newest addition.
This
to
man's
the figure
skin
museum.
is immaculate. Like, it's so smooth that he looks fake.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's also the hair.
It's the hair. Everything about him just gives me very much wax figure.
Mm-hmm. Not a real person.
Eric Lang plays the corporal, and he is like, has specifically chosen Eden as like his like main girl. She's like the HBIC of the slaves. Like, I guess that's like the best way to put it. Because she's like the one in charge. Like, all the other slaves that kind of like look up to her, which is strange. I don't know.
I mean...
Yeah, and then after that, we kind of go back into... Well, in this scene, we also meet Elizabeth, which... Sorry, we went on a rant there.
Elizabeth is the daughter of...
The corporal.
Psychowitz.
Of Psychowitz, yes. And she has a little daughter. We meet them, and actually, every time a slave comes, they get named by the daughter. Like, the daughter picks one out and names her, and that becomes their new name.
Yeah.
And the slave is like, now that's your name now. So that takes us into the new scene when we have some new slaves who come into the camp, right? So we meet a bunch of, well, we actually only meet one, but there's like a line of like 8 of them who get no like screen time.
We
like
never know anything about them. They're just there.
Purely extras. Like, names probably aren't even credited in the So one of the slaves has curly hair, like fair skin, like I guess she's a little bit more attractive, quote unquote, than the other ones. So like the daughter is like drawn to her. And Elizabeth is as well. She's like, oh, this one's cute. Like, she, you know, this one's a vibe. And she lets her little daughter name her Julia. So this new slave is Julia. Yeah, so Julia, she's a feisty one. I mean, we don't see this right away, but we see it a little later. Julia... She
immediately gets straight into it.
Yeah, she, like, is not holding up.
I mean, she's right, to be fair.
Very valid.
You know what?
Valid
Accurate
emotions.
Reactions, yeah.
Valid emotions, but, like, she's coming into this new place, and she's just, like, on 10 immediately. Before, like, even, like, trying to figure out what's actually happening, she's just like, I'm about to spaz. And then, like, just goes in. Like, we soon learned that, like, Elizabeth has put Eden in charge of, like, grooming Julia. She kind of, like, says, like, Eden, like, it's your job to watch over Julia now. So Eden takes Julia with her to like her little cabin, like, I guess, I don't know, freshen her up because they have just been on this journey. So they look a mess, honestly. Like, they just look toe up from the flow up. But, yeah, so they bring her into the cabin. But the whole time, Julia is already on 10. Like, Julia is already like, we gotta get out of here.
She's like screaming and yelling. And which, by the way, at this place, like, the first rule is like, you cannot speak unless you're spoken to.
Yeah.
So, like, if you even like mumble, they're like, I'm sorry, what was that?
You literally,
like beat you up because of that.
They are beating people left and right just for even mumbling or whispering. Like, even if it had nothing to do with them, like, I just wanted to hum a song. Like, they're like, no. You will not speak.
You will work in silence.
So that is very much a rule here. So Eden's basically just trying to keep her quiet at this point. And she's just like, girl, shut up. Shut your mouth. Like, stop talking. Julia doesn't. So she drags her in the house and gives her a little pep talk. But Julia's already on this grind of like, we got to figure out a way to get out of here. And Eden's like, yes, I know that. But 6 weeks earlier, I tried. To no avail. Like, you know, like, this just did not end well for me.
We
so,
gotta
like,
come up with a more concrete plan than let's get out of here. We need some specifics first.
Right, we need to figure it out. And then it's at this point, somewhere in here, we see that, like, Eden is trying to practice how to get out of the house.
Yes.
And we didn't know what was happening the whole time. We were like, what is she doing?
Like, she was, like, rehearsing, like, where she should step on the floorboards in order for them to not creak. Which we were like, okay, well, what for? Like, are you not allowed to make any noise, period, at this place? Or can you just not talk or whatever?
Right. Like, we were assuming it was strictly because she just can't make noise. Like, I don't know why it did not occur to me that, like, she was living there with the corporal.
Well, I mean, they didn't really, like, bring that up. I was always confused on why she has her own place.
Yeah, I was like, my good girl, like, got this whole cabin to herself. Like, this isn't
And she also
Yeah.
just tried to escape, and they're like, okay, you can have your own.
You can have your cabin back. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So from that scene, we kind of move on into like this big dinner, like family dinner that they're having. I feel like it felt more fancy than like a normal dinner there. Like it felt like an event. Like
Yeah, like why are we all having like a buffet right now? Like,
yeah, there's like a
what's the
big
celebration?
tent. Like there's lights hung up everywhere. There's a buffet. Like there's food, and all the slaves who are on the plantation are like the workers here, obviously. So this scene, the corporal gives his like message about them winning some part of the war. They seized somebody. I literally don't even know.
They were just saying things.
They were saying things, you know, huzzah, like, you know, being happy for no reason because they did like one thing. Then we get to this weird like catcalling scene between these two soldiers and
God.
Julia.
It was something.
It was.
It was like this one guy was like, okay, like I'm gonna call this girl over here. My friend wants to get with you, and the friend is like, no, like he didn't say no,
Right.
but he was just like, huh?
He's like this super
What?
like soft spoken like guy. You can tell I don't even know how he got there. His name is Daniel. Thanks IMDb.
Appreciate you.
Because we wouldn't have known that otherwise. They call Julia over. Daniel doesn't know what to say. And then Wax Figure, his name is Jasper, actually. He's played by Jack Houston. Houston.
Something.
Yeah, so we call him Wax Figure. So if you hear that, that's who he is. He's just like an officer or a guard. He's just like a higher ranking soldier in this camp. But he comes over and like steps in and basically like offers Julia's like body up to Daniel. He was just like, oh, she'll be ready for you after dinner, and then tells her to go get ready. And I'm like, sir, like what?
Why?
He didn't even say he wanted it. That's
Yeah.
my thing.
Why
Like,
did you go through all this trouble to like get a girl for your friend or whatever? Like if you really want something to happen, whatever, so much, like why are you doing it for somebody else?
yeah, I feel like he was just pushing him because he knows he's like the shy boy
Trying to get him more into
out there.
this
Like,
situation.
yeah. So, long story short, we get past dinner. Julia has to leave dinner to go get ready, to, like prepare for this. So then we switch over to like this cabin, and Julia's in the cabin, and then Daniel walks in. It's like pitch black in this cabin. Not pitch black, but it's nighttime. There's no lights. And then Julia starts talking to Daniel like he's a normal. She was like, I can tell you're different. Like, I can tell you're like cut from a different cloth. And he's like shy, doesn't know what to do. He's still standing with his back like pressed against the door. Like he's nervous to even be in the presence of a female. Like, it's like a little teenage boy. Like,
Yeah.
is what he's acting like. And then he just like,
He just like snaps.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and he's like, wait a minute. You can't talk to me. I didn't speak to you yet. And
Yeah.
then just hits her and then leaves.
And yeah, he was like, why did you speak to me when I came in? She was like, because I thought you were nice.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I thought you were different than
Right. And
everybody
he was
else.
like, no, why did you speak to me? And she was like, did I not just say why I spoke to you? And he was like, unless I spoke to you first. And then he like switched up.
And he like hits her, kicks her in the stomach, which we learned this beforehand, right?
Yes,
we learned that
she
she's
told,
pregnant.
Yeah, I think she told Eden when they were in the cabin, like
Yeah.
for the first time, that yes, Julia is pregnant
This man kicks her in the stomach.
and she's holding her stomach. So you can
Yeah.
kind of infer to what that leads to a little bit later. It's the next day. They are back on the plantation picking cotton.
Which-
Oh,
Okay, so they've got like this little setup. It's like not a very big setup of cotton.
no, it's literally like
It's like maybe like 15 feet by like
3 feet. Like,
yeah, it's so small. And they spend all day picking this cotton, and you know what they do with it? They throw it into a pile and they
freaking
set it on fire.
burn it. I was pissed. I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
For what?
For what? You did this for what?
If you're doing that to like torture everybody and just be like, oh, you're just supposed to do this or whatever, you could still like at least do something else with it other than like just burn it. You're just
Literally.
like wasting everyone's time.
You're wasting
Yours
cotton.
as well.
Like, then they're out in the heat too, standing there watching them pick cotton. But I guess that's the whole point of this like camp they're in. It's like they're literally just making the slaves pick cotton just so they can burn it in their face. Like, it's like a slap in the face essentially.
Yeah.
Like, disrespectful. They are picking cotton, and then Julia like starts having like intense cramps like in her stomach and starts like whimpering and making noise. So everybody's like immediately on like edge because she's like making noise.
Yeah.
So she's whimpering, and then all of a sudden, like, she just starts to bleed out, and her dress becomes all bloody, and it's very clear at this point she's having a miscarriage from Daniel kicking her in the stomach. Wax figure over here, Jasper, hears the noise, but then he's like walking to them, and then one of the other slaves, Eli, calls him a cracker to like distract him from them making noise. And then Jasper was just like, I'll get back to you later, boy. I'm just like, okay. So like just disregards this statement, like this man just calling him a cracker. Goes to the girls, and we thought they would get in trouble or get hit, but he actually just like let them go. So they leave to go get Julia cleaned up and see what's going on. Jasper returns his attention to Eli, who called him a cracker earlier. We were literally joking about like, no, I meant I want a cracker for lunch.
Like as a snack.
Right.
Nice saltine, oyster crackers,
right.
something.
I'm hungry. Like, that's all.
Yeah. Not calling you anything.
Right.
Never.
But surprisingly, he did not discipline in a way that we thought. Apparently, his punishment now, per Jasper's request, is that he go clean out their, like, makeshift crematorium. Is that what you call those things? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Which, in the beginning, we thought was just a burning house. We were like, oh, this building's just casually on fire. But the gag is they burn bodies of the slaves that try to escape on property. So, like, there's no trace of them. So he has to go clean out the crematorium only to find out that the last person that they burned was his wife. Like, he realizes that when he walks in there, like, oh crap, they haven't burned anybody since they burned my wife for trying to escape. So they make this poor man clean up the bones of his, like, burnt deceased wife.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Awful.
I hate Jasper with a fiery passion. Like, it's so annoying. So yeah, that happens, and it is now nighttime. We are back in Eden and the corporal's cabin. He just got done having his way with her, which he does every night. For no reason.
Whatever.
Just degrading her for no reason. Like I can't remember if it's like right as she's like falling asleep, we hear like a phone ring.
I think it's supposed
or if it's like in her sleep.
I think it was like supposed to be like the next morning she heard like a phone alarm go off. We were still seeing it in the Civil War time. Like, we heard the sound of the alarm, but then when she opens her eyes, then we're in the present. Yeah, so she opens her eyes and we're in the present, which we, after the scene, learn that the present is not quite as it seems. So this scene happens. We, at this point, don't know. We just think she wakes up and she is now Veronica. Eden, the slave, is now Veronica, the like doctor, author, public speaker,
award-winning author. Yeah. And we see her and her family. So she has like a daughter, a husband. We don't really need to get into them because they don't really do anything. They're just
showing that she's got like some sort of life.
Yeah, she has a family. So they go through like the normal morning of like waking up, like I love you, you know, kisses, words of affection, whatever you call them, like I don't know, you know, them just being cute in the bed in the morning. And we wake up and we learn that like, yeah, Veronica has got it going on. Like sis was on the news the other day. We see her like having a news discussion that was from like the night prior with this like man about racial relations in America and like all this stuff. And then like they're watching it on the iPad, just like watching it back. So at this point we know she's like established, like Veronica's got it going on. From there we go to like that weird Skype call.
Yes, with this woman who looks exactly like Elizabeth.
Yes.
From the past. We thought it was like some sort of interview or something, but nothing came out of it. They were just talking.
No, they were just talking. Like I guess her publicist or something like set this like Skype meeting up between the girl who is Elizabeth in the past and Veronica. But the girl is just essentially like being snarky towards Veronica.
Yeah.
Kind of like grooming her in a sense. Like, I don't know. Like she's literally just toying around with her. Like, just playing with her. We have this weird Skype call. Things get a little hostile. Like, the girl, Elizabeth, just gets very strange. And then at this point, like, Veronica's over it. And she's like, all right, I gotta go. Like, get out of here. Got a blast. And she, like, ends that call. And then that's all we get of that. Veronica has to leave her family because she, as I said, she's an author. Like, she's on a book tour, so she has to go give like a speech or join, like, talk on a panel. You know, like when you go to conventions and things like that. So she's now traveling to Louisiana, and this is where like the story, like the rest of the story, takes place here. I don't know where they're from or where she was prior.
Probably
It's
some like bigger city.
completely irrelevant. Like,
Yeah.
it plays no point. But yeah, so we travel. We are in Louisiana now. Veronica checks into the hotel, you know, and she meets her friend in the lobby, or somebody she hasn't seen in a while.
Yeah, I think it's like one of her like good friends.
Yeah, and that's just like a little talk they have. Nothing came of that talk either. Which a lot of things in this movie I realized, like, there's like little.
They just like
It's-
happen to like establish like characters or something, but they don't do anything further. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you could have done that a different way, where like we could have also like learned something else
It's
that
literally,
was new.
yeah, like learned anything. Like, it's just like a little moment that people have, but the moment to the picture as a whole is irrelevant. So she goes up the elevator, and then isn't it like, I think she like stops on the floor, and then like this little like creepy Victorian
Yeah, this little girl that
girl, which is
she's looks like the girl from In the Past, the one
the
that was like
plantation.
naming
yeah,
everybody.
exactly. She's in the elevator, and Veronica's like trying to make small talk with her. She says some things, but I literally, honestly, don't recall what they were at all.
No.
Like, she says some phrases that I feel like maybe were important, but like only important in the sense to show that she herself is like not of this, like, like she,
Like she's kind of vague.
Yeah.
She's like also she's like wearing this this girl's outfit. All right.
a hot mess.
She's wearing the like dress that she wore, or like that the girl was wearing in the past, like this big white like looks
It
kind of
looks
like a nightgown.
Yeah, I was like literally gonna say that, like a nightgown, like
Yeah.
an off-white cream nightgown
with
with some Skechers shape-ups. I'm pretty sure they weren't literally Skechers
no,
shape-ups.
they were like some like
They were
pink
like
little
some-
tennis shoes with like Velcro straps.
Literally, like
on
they
it.
went to Target and bought, or not even Target. Like, you know, you go to Walmart and they have all those like shoes that look almost name brand, but they just like have like some like mark that's completely just not.
Yeah. So this girl's got like two different
Some
aesthetics
bright
going on at the
pink
same time.
Walmart strap-on Velcro shoes with this old Victorian dress.
Yes, and she's got this. I don't know what it was. Was it like a Barbie doll or something?
Yeah,
like
it's
on
like
a leash.
Yeah, it's like a doll on a leash, like on a leash, but it looks like the same like noose that they used when they dragged the slave, like in the beginning when they were dragging the body back on the horse. So I guess it was trying to symbolize that. And then she walks out the elevator and she kind of drags it behind her like they did the
Yeah.
body. So I guess that was our first like little hint that like, okay, these two worlds seem to be crossing, but we don't know how. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know it crosses because we see Eden is playing the slave and she's also playing Veronica. So we know like there's a cross somewhere.
Yeah.
We soon learn after the scene where the cross is. So yeah, she goes up to her room. She's like doing like hot yoga. And it's like, she like turns her apartment. She turns her hotel room into like a sauna. Like, is doing yoga with this yoga teacher. And they have like they have a moment, they talk about stuff. But once again, here we get dialogue that's irrelevant.
Yes.
Like, we focus in on them talking about whatever they're talking about. But it was completely just not relevant to the story. I can't recall what she was saying because we just didn't need that information.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think no, because they didn't even talk about like going out and like celebrating at this moment. That was like the first, or it was back at like the book signing thing.
Yeah.
Or not the book signing, her speech.
Her speech, yeah. So then her friend comes to the hotel room to pick her up because they're going to have like a little girls' night out, you know. It's like two of her friends and her. I guess her two friends probably live in Louisiana. So they're like, girl, we only get to see you like twice a year. So they go out to dinner.
Like right after they leave, I believe. The girl that is played by the same person who is
yes.
Elizabeth, she goes up into Veronica's room after they're gone with gloves on, very secretive, trying not to leave.
Very secret agent. Very
Yeah.
Charlie's Angel. Like,
And she's like looking around, just like looking at her stuff, not taking anything or anything. But she's got her gloves on to try to not leave a trace. And she like sits on her bed,
Yes.
pulls a strand of hair out of her head and puts it on the bed.
Right.
Which defeats the purpose of like having gloves on. So like, what were you trying to do?
Right. What? And she wanted her presence to be known. Because she put the do not disturb sign on the door after she left. Like she came in, she like knocked all the papers off the table and then found like one piece of paper. Was that like the drawing? No,
the drawing was
on the wall.
She like picked up a page, looked at it, and put it back down. But I don't think it was of importance. I think she was just like looking
snooping
to
through her stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she did the hair thing. She dropped her hair. And then she finds the picture that Veronica's daughter drew like the day prior. Veronica somehow managed to get tape and then tape the picture up on the hotel wall.
Yeah.
I don't know, logistics there, but I guess there's tape in like the closet or something. I don't know. Anyway, she tapes the picture up on the wall, and then like the girl's just like investigating the picture, like rubbing her finger, like caressing the picture. And I'm like, can you not
Can you leave this alone?
Can you not be a creep? Yeah. So she does that, and then she finds her lipstick. That lipstick.
Yes. And she puts it on.
And she puts it on. But my thing is, the lipstick looked like a completely different color on her. It looked like a red, like a burnt umber-ish red. Like
like it was when it was on Veronica. It was like a nice like deep reddish brown color.
It was giving me very much brown on Veronica.
Yeah.
And she put it on. It was like orangey red, like burnt orange.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So she puts on her lipstick. First off, cross-contamination. Gross. Get out of here.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And I think she takes her lipstick. So yeah, after that, then they go to dinner.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And then they're having like the normal like girls' night out. We're just talking, chatting, catching up on life.
Flirting with the waiter.
Right. Flirting with the waiter. And then this man at the bar buys her friend Dawn a drink. Right? Buys her like a vodka cranberry or something like that. And she makes this whole elaborate, I don't even know what that was.
She just
like,
goes
charade.
off on this man.
Yeah, she like calls him over. He comes over. He's like, I couldn't help you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. And then she's like, that's cute and all, but like, what is this drink? And he's like, a vodka cranberry. He's like, well, me and my girls are like wine girls. And like, this is like kind of throwing off our vibe that you came over here and just would get a vodka cranberry. She was like, what I would do if I were you is like, man up, come over here and ask me what type of drink we wanted. And since you see I'm with my friends, you would get us all drinks and get us whatever we wanted for the night. And I'm like, girl.
Like, he was just being nice.
Right,
you
like,
didn't have to go off on him.
You need to slow down, baby. Like, you're doing too much. It's not that deep. If I want to buy you a drink, I want to buy you a drink. Either you drink it or you don't.
Yeah.
She ended up not drinking it. Like, but she did give him her like business card.
Oh yeah, that she just had on her for a night out with the girls.
Right, just in her bra strap, just pulled out a business card and hands it to him. But then like essentially tells him to take the vodka cranberry back. Like that was disrespectful. Like get this out of here.
Yeah.
And then once again, we'd never get anything out of this. Like they played that moment up and they focused on that man for like 3 to 4 minutes to make him seem like he was like a pivotal character.
Or like it was going to give us something more about like Veronica's friends, which by the way, we don't see ever again after this.
That's all we get. They were in this movie for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So, that was essentially the night. Like, they laugh about that, but they have their dinner like normal. Things go normal. And then it's time for them to leave because Veronica has to like get up super early to catch like a 6 a.m. flight. Like, she's like, we got to get out of here. I got to go. So we get outside. Apparently they have 2 separate Ubers because the 2 girls are like going out for like a night on the town.
Yeah.
Like, they're about to go get lit. And then Veronica, like I said, needs to go home. So 2 cars pull up at the same time conveniently.
Same looking car.
Same looking car. It's like those big like black Escalades that like all the
like
celebrities drive in.
Yeah.
Like the black, like all tints, like everything. Both cars like almost like identical, but they both pull up at the same time, right? So her 2 friends get in like one car and she gets in the other one. They both scurry off. Her friends are like vibing out to like Lizzo and like, first off, they're like shaking. They're like disrupting the like driver.
Yes.
And I'm like, they're not even that drunk. Like, I'm like, y'all, do y'all want to crash? Like, they're like dancing in the car, shaking him, like messing with him.
One glass of wine.
Right. And they're like, oh my God, we're tipsy. Like, oh my, I'm like, relax. You're not tipsy. Veronica, yeah.
She gets into her Uber, and the like Uber person is playing music like super loud. And she's like, "Can you turn that down, please?" And they don't respond. And she's like, "Excuse me, can you turn that down?" And just never turn it down.
And then she gets a call while she's in. Oh my gosh. She's in this Uber and she gets a call from a number and she answers it because she doesn't know who it is. Mm-hmm. Turns out, and it's like you hear the lady like yelling. She's like, "Hi, like my name's blah blah blah. I'm outside the restaurant." And she was like, "What?" She was like, "I'm outside the restaurant. I'm your Uber. I'm outside the restaurant." And she was like, "No, I'm already in my Uber." Like, completely disregarding this statement. Like,
literally, I said this like in the initial reaction, but like if you get a call like while you're in an Uber, you're driving, the Uber driver's not responding to you, and you get a call that says your Uber's here, maybe jump out of the car.
Maybe get out of the car. Like, obviously you're not in the right car.
Yeah,
so
something's about to happen.
We soon discover after that statement, because Veronica can't hear, so she like yells at the people. She's like, "Okay, like you need to turn this music down." And right after she does that, she like looks in like the like mirror for the driver, and she sees the lady like putting on the lipstick, and like pans up to her eyes, and she can see that it's like the lady she was on the call with. And then Jasper's in the back of the car, muffles her, and they just start to fight in the car. So it just turns into an act of kidnapping.
Meanwhile, the car right next to it is the car with her friends in it, and they're jamming, they're living life.
It's like adding insult to injury. Like they're just living their best life, literally riding like two abreast down the street. All it would take for them is to look left to see that their friend's getting like attacked in the car, but they don't even look. And then the car like peels off, makes a right, and goes the other way.
Yeah.
So at this point, Veronica's being kidnapped by Elizabeth, present day Elizabeth, and present day Jasper. All right, guys, I think now is a good point to stop, and you guys are going to hear some of our initial reactions. We're going to do like a chunk now, and then we're going to do a chunk at the end. So these are our initial reactions from watching the first part of the movie. All right. I don't know what year it is yet, but
it's giving me very much Civil War.
Very much.
I think.
I would have. I would have to die that day. So we're fighting.
Let me stand up.
Right. Let's square up. I don't care if I'm in shackles or not. You about to get these hands.
He looks kind of like the guy that played the teacher in Victorious, Psychowitz.
Oh, he does kind of look like him.
I feel like it's...
Yeah.
We'll look it up later.
We'll look it up later. Sir, you just branded me?
Like...
Oh, you can stop that crying. Let me brand you real quick and see how long you cry. Like...
Here, you sit on this table.
Right here, lean over. Let me show you. Boy, I'm annoyed already. Right.
Just get your fingers all...
So let me just...
just creep up the window real quick.
6 weeks later. The storms are brewing.
Just beyond the horizon.
Just beyond the horizon. He looks
like a cartoon.
Yes, yes. He kind of looks like that little, was it like the evil man in like Lazy Town? Like,
yes. Just because of the mustache,
yes,
I think.
It's the mustache and like his skin tone. Like
he also reminds me of what's his name from Meet the Robinsons, the bad guy, bowler hat guy.
Yes.
Giving me very 100%. Much bowler hat guy.
I want to fight this man.
Literally.
So if you look fake and you just
look like a wax figure.
Yes. He literally looks like a freaking Madame Tussauds, like, however you say it. Like,
Madame Tussauds.
That's a Tussauds. Tussauds, yeah.
Tussauds.
Madame Tussauds. Little Bo Peep, like, prancing through on her horse. Girl, get out of my face. Like,
get out of here.
Also, I don't know why. Just cotton doesn't look like it should be grown in that form. Like, like cotton seems like such a like manufactured thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like it's like of the earth.
Yeah, it comes from like that like it's like crispy like leaves or whatever around it.
Like it literally seems like it's a manufactured thing.
Yeah. Oh, she's in a ghost.
Yeah. Not the Bang Gang. They're burning the cotton?
What are they picking
No. Absolutely not. This is the only patch of... Yeah.
They're just doing it for busy work.
I think he literally like to show them what they should be doing. Like this is like how you pick cotton, even though we're gonna just burn the cotton.
What's the point in burning it?
That
if
just-
you're going through all the trouble of picking it and whatever, then
You might as well at least sell it. Like,
yeah, you're growing it for what?
okay, I don't know if I like her attitude.
Yeah, she's telling you how to survive until you can escape.
She
And
said-
she's like, no, I want to escape right now.
And we're trying to figure out how to get out of here.
Yeah.
So obviously we're formulating a plan.
Yeah, you need to be patient.
I'll be like, all right, you can stay here then. Why is she so like mad? Like,
Yeah,
I just met you, sis. I'm like,
it seems culty.
yes, love. It's giving me very much triple K. Like.
I can't stop thinking about Little Bo Peep after you said that. That's literally what she looks like.
Mr. Wax over here. Why does this horse look like it has like extensions, like golden like extensions?
We gotta make him look good.
Like bundles. Like
I didn't say anything. I was simply doing my tasks.
right, I was saying I want a cracker for lunch. Like
I would like that as a snack
a
at
saltine
break time.
cracker. Like,
An oyster crack.
as an hors d'oeuvre.
As an order.
I feel like scenes like this always make me so awkward. I feel like morning breath is definitely a thing. And people just be sitting there having full conversations like, I'm like, I know your breath is hot. Like,
It's just like a cloud of the
oh,
warm
just
breath.
funk. I'd be like,
Like, we can,
babe, your breath stank. Like,
we can talk after you brush your teeth.
right.
At least have a mint.
No, you need to brush it. I can't have mint mixed with like morning breath. What was the point of that call?
Yeah. Like, I thought it was supposed to be like an interview or something.
Yeah, but it seemed like she was just trying to comfort her. Like,
Yeah.
that was the weirdest kiss that just happened.
Give me a smooch.
Give me a smooch. Man, why are you walking in this like single file line? Like,
Yeah. Why are you
Ew.
strutting down the hallway
look
like
at these
this?
ankles. What is this? She looks sick.
She
Like-
does. Like a Victorian child.
Yeah. Like these Velcro
Okay.
shoes. Why you got these pink Velcro shoes on in this off-white cream dress?
Yeah.
Like, who dressed
Are
that
they trying to like mix together like this world and the past?
in the past?
'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
she's
I'm like,
wearing the same outfit.
but her shoes are like modern day, like Skechers shape-ups.
Yeah.
Like,
Shape ups for kids.
dang! Watch where you going, nerd. Like,
That's where you're going, nerd.
almost ran me over. Oh, Lord.
It's her.
Oh,
probably.
no. Girl, hop out the car. Hop out the
If
car.
you get a call saying your Uber's here and you're already in an Uber, you jump out of the car.
The minute...
Also, I would have gone would have elbowed Batman and
Right.
then instantly go for the driver, make her crash.
Make her crash the car. Because if I'm going out, you going out too.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to it.
All right. So then the scene switches back to the colonial, like, Civil War slavery,
Whatever.
whatever you want to call that. So Veronica is awoken to the sound of a phone ringing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she, like, shoots up because, like, it's a phone. Like,
Like what's
excuse
that
me?
doing here?
Yeah. Where's his phone coming from? So then the Colonel... That's his
Colonel
name.
Sanders, Mr. KFC himself.
I'm screaming. So then the corporal wakes up,
we
right?
go.
There we go. He wakes up and like rushes outside because clearly like it's a phone ringing. But at this point, that the twist is very obvious. We are in this like what we thought was the past is like currently happening. Like that's
Yes.
very obvious because there's phones, like there's like electronics. So he goes to answer this phone. It's like a smartphone, by the way. And he's like, yes, we got the girl. Like, she's with us. Like, I'll handle it. Like, just whispering stuff. And she is, like, watching him, like, out the window, like, trying not to be seen. And he gets off the phone, so she rushes back to bed, acts like she's asleep. But, like, she now, in her mind, knows that he has a phone. So she's like, oh, yeah, we're getting out of here. Yeah, so, like we said, the twist is that this is happening in real life.
Like this is not the 1800s mixing with the 2020s.
Absolutely
it's
not.
Very much the same year.
It's very much like 2020. Like this is happening current day.
Yeah.
So at this point, she's going to go for the phone. We already know this. So the next day, they're back picking cotton, whatever they're doing outside, picking cotton, burning it for no reason, as they do.
Know.
And then Veronica, I'm just going to call her Veronica now. Her name's still Eden, but like, we know that she's present day Veronica, just stuck in this place. So we're going to call her Veronica from now on. All right, so Veronica is like picking cotton, and Julia is missing, like nowhere to be found. She's gone. And then Jasper comes up, the wax figure comes up, and he's like, where is Julia? And nobody knows. Everybody's like, wait, where is Julia?
Like, what happened to her?
But he's ever so graciously lets Veronica go find Julia. So she runs off to her like little cabin to go find her, and she opens the door, and boom, 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 Julia has committed suicide, unfortunately, because of just her being tired of being here. So,
and she just lost her baby.
Yeah, she just lost her baby due to Daniel kicking her in the stomach. So she,
his marbles and kicking her.
So yeah, she walks in on Julia. She has hung herself.
When she's like trying to get her down, when she's like still trying to like save her, even though she's obviously been hanging here for like at least like 15 minutes.
She's gone.
She's gone. I'm so sorry, but like. Like her body like moves, and we see that she's got a tattoo of a butterfly on her ankle.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I almost forgot. Yes. So the butterfly has appeared again. Where have we seen the butterfly so far? We've seen it.
It's on the cover of the the
movie poster.
The movie poster. It's on her Veronica's laptop home screen, and it's also on her book cover.
Yeah. I was like, there was one more place. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, the butterfly keeps showing up. We never get anything about the butterfly, but we'll go into that later, what we think it is. So yes, at this point, Julia's gone, unfortunately. But this is like the turning point for Veronica. Like in her mind, she's like, tonight's the night. Like we're escaping tonight. I'm over this. So she goes back outside and she gives Eli like the little like hint, like, we're doing it tonight. And he's like,
it's going down.
And he's like, all right, bet. Like, so they got their mind made up. They're going. So the night comes, and it is now time for Veronica to hatch her plan to, hit my mic, for her to, the plan is in action. You know what I'm saying? So now we see Veronica, she like checks to see if the corporal is asleep. He's asleep. He's knocked out. He's daydreaming. Daydreaming. He's daydreaming at night, you know. And she now begins to like contort out of the bed using like her yoga skills.
I guess that maybe is why we saw her do yoga beforehand.
Yeah.
But like she's doing like full acrobatics. She's a gymnast right now.
Cirque du Soleil. Yes, period. Like sis is bending in all types of ways, trying to get on the floorboards that don't creak. And then earlier in the movie, we saw that she was like trying to work her way around this place that we thought was just her place. So we were like, why is she trying to make noise? But now we see like she's trying to find all the quiet spots in the floor so she wouldn't wake him up when she's trying to escape. So she manages to get to the door. She gets to the door. She opens it. She's outside. Bam, we're good. She goes straight to the horse and grabs like the phone out of the satchel. And then she kind of has a little slight moment of freak out because she does not see Eli anywhere. And she kind of like whispers for him and he doesn't show up. But then he like whispers. Then he like whistles back and then he comes out of the woodworks. Yeah. So now it's Veronica and Eli. Yeah,
and they're having this whole thing like just out in the open for anybody to see them at any moment, like in the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night, but there's still like...
But there's still guards and people walking around, but nobody... They're just standing up.
Yeah, there's like literally a tent with lights on like 15 feet away and nobody saw a thing.
We wanted them to get under like the deck of the house because like there's a deck in front of the like cabin that's a good like 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet off the ground. Like she easily could have like... They could easily have slid in under there and then tried to call. Yeah. But they just stood out in the open, which is fine. I mean, they never got caught that way, so it's... Yeah, it's okay.
I guess you're fine.
Right. So then at this point, Daniel and his drunken friend, they come back. They've been drinking wherever they've been drinking, and they're just making noise, stumbling around and everything. So Veronica and Eli get scared. And of course, what do people do when they're scared in the movie? They drop everything in their hands. So Veronica drops the phone right next to the horse, and then they go to run behind the house to hide, which they should have been behind the house the whole time. But I digress.
What?
It's whatever. So then the drunk boys like see something glowing like in the leaves, and they come and they find the phone, and they're like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Dude, it's probably like his phone." And then he's like, "There's like a strict no phone policy here. Like it must be the corporal's phone." And then they proceed to take the phone. Like they don't put it back. They just take it with them. I'm like, "Where are you going?" Like So at this point, like you said, it's very clear that this is modern day. They're all here for a purpose, and they all had to leave their phone somewhere. Like that's none of the soldiers or anybody like have their phone. Only the corporal can have his phone, apparently, because he's top dog. So they go off into the woods. They break off at this point. And I think Daniel goes off into the woods to like vape.
Yeah, he's like off, like looking dramatically, like into the distance
into like the
as
moonlight.
he's vaping.
Yeah, Eric, as he's like hitting his jewel pod, like casually, real quick, and then Veronica and Eli actually follow him, and that's when they kind of off him real quick. They just like silently murder him. Like Eli takes care of that. It was light work. It was easy.
Yeah.
Like Daniel was a twig, so one hit he would have been out. So at this point, they kill Daniel. They get the phone back, but now they have to go back to the camp to get the corporal's face to unlock the phone because it is a smartphone with facial recognition. Like it's an iPhone 10 or above, clearly.
Yeah.
So they get back. They have to sneak back onto camp, and once again, they just go back to camp. Like nobody's out. Nobody sees them anywhere. They just walk back on camp.
Yeah, as if this is a normal thing that you can just
Right.
do.
As the slaves can just walk around at night. Like they're like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" You know. So they go in the house. They think they're sneaking back into the house, so they're trying to be all quiet. But the minute they get the door open wide enough, literally the corporal's just standing up there ready to slay them. So they get into this 3-person brawl. It is now Eli and Veronica versus the corporal. They're all like slanging stuff, making noise, yelling, screaming, hitting each other. Mind you, everybody still sleeps some magical way.
Nobody has it.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess everybody sleep deep. If I was there, I would have been up the minute like something happened. Like when the phone rang, I would have been like, hello? I sleep so light. Like, but anyways, so they're fighting, and then unfortunately, my guy Eli gets killed by the corporal. A hatchet to the heart takes him out. So he is now dead. It is now Veronica versus the corporal. They are fighting, hitting each other. She literally slams his head onto a mantle. I think I like had this in our like little things. She slams his head into like a stone mantle, and he's still just going up. Like
he's perfectly fine. And then he like slams her into the wall, like her back hits the wall or something, and she's like out for like
she's
3
like
seconds.
Passed
I'm like,
out.
Man, you need to stand up. You were about to be obliterated.
Right. Literally, I'm like, get up. So they're fighting. She finally like manages to get his sword or his knife or something and stabs him. So now he's like bleeding out profusely on the floor, and he's like weak because he's losing so much blood, right? So he's down. So she finally gets to like unlock his phone, and she goes back outside. I'm like, baby, you need to finish him off because he's clearly dead.
Yeah,
but
or you need to at least like stay hidden in here. Like if you're gonna run out frantically, probably with blood on your clothes, maybe
just
don't.
stay. At this point, he knows you're trying to escape, so you might as well stay in here with him. But she goes back outside, and the first thing she does is call her husband. Which I mean, yes, I get that, but like at the same time, baby,
you don't have a lot of time.
This is bigger than you and your husband. This is like everybody's life at stake.
You need to call 911 first.
Send your location first, and then we can make calls afterwards because you'll still have the phone. But she calls him. They talk for a second. They're okay, and then she gets off the phone. She's like, "Okay, now I need to send my location." And then you know when your phone like loads because it can't send something, like it has a weak signal, so like it like almost sends, and it's just sitting there, and she's like, come on, and like I literally was sweating. Like I'm like, if this location does not send, I'm gonna be pissed for her. But it does send. It goes through, and she's like, yes, okay, cool. So now she is like, let's finish. She was about to ride off, and then all of a sudden she had like a change of heart. So she runs to like the flagpole and grabs a Confederate flag that's flying. She like flies it all the way down, gets it off the thing, goes back into the cabin and wraps the corporal's body up in this flag. Mind you, he's still alive, guys. He's just can't move.
Unable to speak or anything.
Yeah. He said like one line. And then like she drags him all the way to like the crematorium that's across camp.
Across camp?
Across, you heard me correctly. Across camp. Nobody saw him.
Slowly dragging this man who probably weighs like
solid 200 pounds. Like,
she's more. Not easily able to bring him across.
Yeah, drags him easily across the grass. Nobody sees her. Gets him all the way in the crematorium, right? And he utters like one line to her that says like, "We're everywhere but nowhere."
Yeah.
And then she was just like, looked at him for a second and was like, F you. And she was about to go out and close the door. And then 2 guards come up, right? But my girl is good at lying. Like, she turned into an actress. Like,
she turned around real quick.
She said, oh my God, like, the corporal's hurt. He's inside the crematorium. And they immediately just fell for it, just went inside. Mm-hmm. So now there's 3 people who are alive, mind you, in the crematorium. She slams the door, locks it behind them. And then they're all like yelling for her to come out, like, let us out.
They're like pissed at her. They're like, you're gonna let us out of here right now. We're like, why would she listen to you?
I've already locked you in here, so why would I let you out? So you can kill me? Mm-hmm. No.
And they're like calling her by the name that they gave her. So they're like, Eden, let us out right now. You're in so much trouble, all that. And then once she starts setting it on fire, they're like, okay, Veronica.
Right. Didn't they change
the door,
up?
please. Veronica, open the door.
Right. Veronica, open the door, please. Veronica, open the door.
Veronica, can we not fight anymore, please?
Can we not fight anymore? Sorry.
It's very much Heather's.
Giving me very much Heather. We love Heather's, by the way. We're theater people. For you guys who don't know, I guess nobody would know because we haven't said that. Yeah. We both go to school for theater, so we're going to make a lot of references to that.
I'm so sorry.
We apologize in advance. Yeah.
Might be annoying if we break out into song.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But yes, so now Veronica has set this crematorium ablaze. There's 3 people burning alive, yelling, screaming. A bunch of hoopla, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, so everybody in the camp at this point is like, oh, awoken. Like, we're all up. Kinda. But like, they're all like, there's people like coming out, but like nobody is seeing what's really happening because the camp is so big. So Veronica then hops on her horse and she's out of there. Like, she is split.
If she was already making this ruckus and she was already like taking her time, she could have like banged on like at least like one door and been like, get out,
like run. Yeah. Tell them to just run a direction. Like
any direction at all.
Literally. She didn't tell any other slaves to do anything, but they're asleep, so whatever. Mm-hmm. So she now is on a horse and she's gone. She's into the woods. But as she's running, we pan behind her and now we hear Elizabeth screaming, also on horseback.
Yeah, she was
and shooting at her.
And, okay, so it was the middle of the night. Everybody was, like, in pajamas. It was bedtime. It was probably, like, 2 or 3 in the morning.
It gotta be early in the morning.
And then when we see Elizabeth, she's, like, in her day clothes.
In the full gown. She never
went to bed, apparently.
Looking like Merida. Like, from Brave. Like,
Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep.
Now with a shotgun.
Right, with a shotgun, like, just shooting, like, riding the horse, trying to shoot at Veronica. But Veronica's, like, a nice distance ahead of her. But somehow Elizabeth is still catching up. So we get to this point where they're running, but Elizabeth like loses sight of Veronica, so she kind of stops, and then she just starts like yelling all these things out, like "You killed my father," and da da da. So at this point, we learned that Elizabeth's father was the corporal. Mm-hmm. So it's a family affair. Like this whole family is twisted.
Yeah.
And then her husband is Jasper. So, but we learned that earlier. But yeah, so that's happening. She's yelling out all these things, like how Veronica's just a slave, like she'll always just be a cotton picker, yada yada, just mouthing off, just really running those gums. And then all of a sudden, Veronica comes up and they start like a full-on fight because Veronica's just like, I'm tired of this, like you need to go out. So they start fighting, tussling. People start getting stabbed because Elizabeth had like a shank in her boot, so she starts like stabbing.
She was prepared for this fight. She didn't know it was going down tonight, but she was ready for any night.
She said, "Stay ready, so you don't gotta get ready." Okay, like so they're stabbing each other, fighting each other. Eventually, like Veronica gets enough strength. She's like on top of her, and she starts just beating my sis to a pulp. Like she is wearing Elizabeth out. Like
she is knocked out.
So she's knocked out at this point. She's not like dead, but she's like. I mean, if you get hit that much in the face, you're going to be, like, woozy.
She's, like, very much out of it. I think she, like, just, like, was slowly blinking, if anything. Like, she wasn't able to speak or anything.
So then Veronica grabs a noose, that, like, noose lasso rope she has, and puts it around her neck. And we're like, okay, girl, but you need to get out of here. She gets back on her horse, and all of a sudden we see Elizabeth get yanked like she's just, like, got dragged to hell by a demon. So at this point... Veronica's riding a horse full speed and she's dragging Veronica by the neck in the grass, in the dirt, running in the stuff.
Just sprinting. And she... So as we like get further away, so Veronica rides by and Elizabeth kind of bonks her head on a Robert E. Lee statue.
Kind of bonks.
And is just kind of left there. Like, I think... Veronica let go of the rope or it got like detached from the horse or
she
whatever,
hit it very
just
hard.
smacked straight into it. Like, no more neck.
No more neck.
It's
Like,
gone.
her neck is like, you know, those like straws that have like the little extensions that you can pull out. Imagine like it was all the way out and then it just got flattened. Like, like when you flatten the can, like that was her neck. So sis is gone. She's dead. So Elizabeth is now dead. And at this point, a new batch of people come out of the woodworks out of nowhere, also on horses, who have not been following them this whole time, mind you. It's been Veronica and Elizabeth for the last like 5 minutes. But now that Elizabeth is dead, there's 3 other soldiers all on horse, and they're not like using like semi-automatic like weapons, like modern day weapons, not like muskets.
Listen,
like
we're done with this. We need to keep her from getting anywhere
out.
else.
Yes, so they're just trying to stop her from getting out the camp at this point because they know she's on her way out. But they can't. Of course, they don't stop her because she's so far ahead. So then Veronica kind of breaks through the trees. It is now dawn, dusk.
Dawn.
Sorry, I'm bad at that, y'all. So it is now dawn. Like the sun is like coming up. It's like a new day. And she breaks through the trees, and finally we see that she is now running in the field, very slow motion, very dramatic, with actual Civil War reenactment happening in the real world, like real
the ones
people.
That people usually do.
Yeah, when you actually go to like do these fake things, but they're not actually killing each other. They're just doing it for fun.
Which also, by the way, this reenactment, it still looks very much real. I don't know how deep like Civil War reenactments go, but there were like
explosives. Yeah.
There was smoke going up everywhere.
I feel like if anything, it'd be smoke. Like the explosions seem a little excessive because, like, what if somebody is accidentally where the explosion is, and it's just like you actually killed somebody? That's a liability.
Yeah, you did sign this waiver though, so
you did.
You
so
can't sue us.
Thanks for your services. Thanks for your money. But yeah, so now Veronica is like slowly trotting. Like she's very much in anguish, but you can tell she's relieved to have made it back to where she can see real people. So she's like, finally, but this is like a very slow motion, like stroll through these people as they reenact the fake Civil War, like safely reenacting. And then she runs out and she pans past a sign that says Civil War reenactment, like park. Like this is very much made for this. And then we pan down and we see the same symbol on the sign that was the symbol that got branded onto her back by the corporal earlier. And it says BD, and it stands for Blake Denton, who is the owner of the Civil War reenactment park. So he runs the park, the fake park, but he has his real like live action role playing LARPing park in the back where he's actually like keeping people for slave, like, you know, doing this for real. Like it's not for play.
Yeah.
So that was insane. So she runs out into people who are walking into the park to come watch the reenactment. So like she's running out into normal people. So at this point we know like she's made it to safety. She's good. Like she's made it out. So and we also in the back we see like political signs like Blake Denton is actually running for senator again. So I think he was already the senator.
Yeah.
And then he's running for like re-election. So he's like a real world person. Like in the daytime, he goes out into the real world and does real world things. But at night he comes back and he has people here doing all this stuff. Like this man is twisted. Like his whole family is twisted. I don't know who his wife is. We never met her. She's not in the story. But who we thought was his wife was actually his daughter.
Yeah.
So and then the movie is over. Like it literally ends as she runs out. We get one more look at her face as she's running out, and then we see her running into the distance, and the music swells, and it ends. That is the end of the movie, guys.
Or so we thought.
Because I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to hear me in my commentary. You're like, that's it? Like, I was like, are you kidding me? And we stopped the movie right after that. But to our surprise, there's more to the movie.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
There's a post-credit scene that nobody, like... felt the need to put before the credits, where
literally
you see like after all of this has happened, there's just this guy like bulldozing what's left of the reenactment site, like tearing down the sign or whatever. We didn't see this. we found out about it in our
Yeah.
own research afterwards
We
because we
found out
turned
afterwards.
off the movie.
We stopped the movie and we immediately started going into our first thoughts because like when the credit went to like an all black screen and they just started listing names like in the middle of the screen. Like when credits start like that, you think it's over. Most of the time when they do like the post credit scenes, they put the credits on like the right side of the screen and then they have like a box in the left, so you know like, oh, something's about to happen.
Yeah.
So let me keep watching.
And we also
they did not do that.
Yeah, we also left it on for like a good 2 minutes before we actually turned it off,
Yes.
and there was nothing there. But like in the credits, it kind of like, or post credits, it kind of like ties up a couple loose ends of like being like, oh, what happened to all of the people
afterwards?
that were still there? What became of this whole situation? Which it shows that it's been like a bunch of time has passed, like everything's overgrown. Now they're getting rid of like the last signs.
They tore down the reenactment park. It's no longer. The police came and they got all the rest of the people who were stuck at the camp. Mm-hmm. It's like it wasn't a happy ending, but initially I was about to drag the mess out of them for ending the movie like that. But they really ended it on a pretty good note. It's just, why would you put it in the credits?
All right, so let's get into this.
All right, so yeah, let's just get into like thoughts and things afterwards. So that was the movie. The rating makes sense. I feel like the movie was just so long. The beginning of it was so long for no reason.
We got, I guess, well, no, I was gonna say like they wanted to like try to make it seem like we're like traveling back and forth in time or something, or like her like past self or her like ancestor or whatever is like coming back.
Right. Yeah.
I guess it would make more sense if we went into more detail, but like if we just spent so much time in the past, the past, and then we go to the present for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we go back again, and then it's only later on explained. It's just weird. Like
the past was actually the present, and what we thought was the present was the past.
Yeah.
So that basically was what they were doing. Like, the past is the present. They did make a statement. Oh my gosh, I just hit my mic. Oh my god, sorry. They made a statement earlier, apparently, at the beginning of the movie. It's like just in the credits. It says, the past is never dead. It's not even the past.
I have that same note.
Period. So that would describe, that's basically what this story is. Like, the storyline is that. The story is very straightforward, honestly. It's not, I just expected way more. I don't know.
Yeah, it also just like kind of just did these things and didn't really like comment on like the issues that they were trying to bring up. They were just like, here.
Yeah.
It's right here.
It's just like, here. We're in it.
Like, we're not going to discuss it. It's just
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. 3 out of 10 would recommend.
Would recommend.
I mean, if you want to watch it, go. I mean, by all means, go. If you like want to see what we're talking about, by all means, go watch it. But like, if you have $20 laying around, or you might just want to wait till it pops out somewhere else, or somebody has pirated or something. You didn't hear that from me. Yeah,
it just kind of happened.
It was very surface level. You didn't really have to get too deep about it. Like, the minute they presented the plot twist, it was like nothing more to the story. Like, it was just like, this is the twist and we're going with it, and that's it. Like, it was very just like a flat story.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, these people, the directors, are new directors. And I found this in an interview. Apparently, like, this story stemmed from one of the directors having a nightmare. Because they're a couple, interracial couple too. So like, one's black, one's white. The black man, Gerard, had a nightmare one day, and he woke up and just started writing down everything he could remember about this nightmare. And the nightmare was like in the premise of this, like, waking up from a nightmare, but the nightmare being like your reality, essentially. Yeah, and they basically wrote a short story from that nightmare, and they presented it to people, and they're like, or like one of their friends is like a producer or something, and like read the short story, and he was like, you guys need to write the script. And even the other guy in the interview was like, no, like they wanted other writers to come in and write the script. And then the producer was like, I think it's important that you write like the first draft of the script, and if we need to change it or something, like, we can, but like, it's your story, like, you need to write it. So these people became writers and directors and producers, like, all in the same,
all in like one night.
Yeah. So the producers from Get Out, which is why I thought initially this movie was by Jordan Peele, and I was like, Jordan, baby, what are you doing? But it's not by him. It's just the producers of Get Out and us. helped produce this movie.
Okay.
But yeah, they said they took it to the producers and like they were like, yeah, it's great. Like didn't need a rewrite. And I'm like, nobody thought that it was a little too flat. Nobody thought that we spent.
We didn't go super deep.
40 minutes of like nothing essentially. Like
yeah.
It was just so long for no reason. But yeah. What are your thoughts? Let's get into what this butterfly is.
Okay, so basically, like when I think of like butterflies, like in movies, TV, games, like all that stuff, I just think of like the butterfly effect, which is like any small thing that happens could have a huge effect on whatever happens later. That is not the case with this. That is not what they were trying to say. But that's what I always think of first. So it's like a little strange that they chose that to be their symbol. Where that's just like what everybody immediately thinks of, or at least I think of. I don't know about other people.
Right.
But I looked up general symbolism of butterflies, and it says that they're representations of life, and that many cultures associate them with our souls, and around the world people view the butterfly as representing endurance, change, hope, life, and all that kind of stuff. And it could also represent life struggles that people endured to emerge as a better person. So
like cocooning, like okay.
I think they were trying to say, which I got some of this from like a review website, is that they were saying that there is some change that is like long overdue, especially in the United States.
I could get that.
That we just gotta like go through
we
this
just
change.
need to do better.
Get
which
better.
is very true.
Especially right now with everything going on.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. The directors were definitely talking about like this story, like very racially charged, you know, like directors like, we need to get the story out, it needs to be heard, like in today's climate, So I guess coupled with the butterfly, it makes sense. Like but on off rip, like the butterfly itself, like the symbol just appeared, like we never got any context behind it. But
like if you didn't know that the symbolism that they were trying to get across was change, and change that needs to happen, you'd be like, why are there butterflies?
You'd be like, why are there butterflies? And we never get a story. Like I feel like when they do things like that, I need something like
I feel like they could have been like,
for people who don't do extra research like we do. Like, you know what I mean?
Like they could have easily had like Veronica be like, oh my god, like to her daughter, like that's a great picture of a butterfly. Do you know what those usually mean? And then she could be like, no, I don't know. And then she'd be like, that means change. They mean change,
you know, that way you've established that this butterfly has meaning. So now every time we see it after this point, we know what it means. Like, but no, they just proceeded to not give us any context.
It's just there.
But it's fine. Like, I feel like for their first movie, obviously it was kind of a flop. I mean, they have potential. Like, I feel like if they go back to the writing and you maybe get some writers to come in and they produce the story, like the way it was shot and everything, beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible movie. It just wasn't at all what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
and
at all.
It just needed a little extra like editing. We needed somebody else to like oversee it and be like, okay, let's change some things up.
Yeah, I think it just needs fine tuning, and it would have been a next level. Like, it wouldn't have been the best thing out there, but it would have been better. Like, I think somebody needs to sit down and be like, we need to either move some things around or add some new scenes. But they probably were, like, they're on a budget, so they just can't like be like, oh, we need to add 3 scenes because nothing makes sense. Like, you are like, after we get done filming, like, we're done. We just got to deal with what we got, you know. So I'm assuming that's what happened. But overall, I mean, I wouldn't watch it again. Would you watch it again?
No.
Okay,
I'm
absolutely
so
not. I would not recommend you pay
$20.
Yeah, maybe when it goes down, like maybe it's on sale on the holidays when it's like 10. Like
somebody puts it up on Plex or something.
Right, you can split it with the fam. Like everybody put in $2, but like $20, it's a no for me, dog. So yeah, I think that is all we have for Antebellum. I think now we're gonna let you guys listen to the rest of our clips that we had from our initial reaction. So here they are. This man has a cell phone. He got like a smartphone. It's not even like a flip phone. Like it's a iPhone. Like
all the talent, the skill.
Come on, Yoga. She wasn't practicing this.
You go.
What?
I was gonna say you don't have to be quiet if you just kill him.
I mean, period. slice that throat.
So she's wearing this like bright white pajama set.
Right. You're literally, she's just glowing in every light. Like, why did she drop the phone?
Yeah.
They're always doing dumb stuff. You easily could have held onto that phone. Are you vaping?
God.
Okay. My guy is vaping, hitting his jewel pod. Like,
Is that how she got here? Like, remember, like, when she was at the hotel, she got kidnapped?
I think she got kidnapped and they brought her here. Because the guy who kidnapped her was the guy,
wax figure.
the wax guy. Yeah, the Madame Tussauds.
Madame Tussauds.
How you say it?
Tussauds.
Tussauds?
Yeah.
It's a D?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tussauds.
Look, the wax figure.
Yeah.
Wait, we just missed all of that. Are you kidding me?
Throw him into the fire.
I don't know why that just pissed me off.
Oh my god, she is actually gonna push him in the fire.
Please do it. She just rammed his head into this solid stone mantle, and it didn't knock him out at all. Didn't even phase him.
Yeah. She did not get knocked out from that.
Also,
okay,
great, backing people into a wall does not knock you out. Like, oh.
Yes, that's what we need.
Put in work. Put
Here
in
we
work.
go.
Send your location. Stop talking. Why something stupid happen and be pissed off?
Like the battery dies or something. That blood looks fake. It looks like the fake spills that they have at like furniture stores and
Yes.
stuff, where it like looks like a spilled over like coffee cup.
And you're like, She's taking way too much time.
Yeah, she needs to get a move.
Like, you doing all this preparation work, which should have been done yesterday. You knew you were going home.
Yeah, you need to get some pep in your step and you need to start running.
It's making me mad. Like, she should have been out of here.
Oh, now you're gonna use my real name? Absolutely not. Also, does he suddenly have like a modern gun?
I was just gonna, like, you got a semi-automatic.
Like, why do you have that if you were at a Civil War reenactment? Why do you have that there in the first place?
Right. She looks like Ali Mozzie.
I don't know who that is.
Broadway star. She looks just like her. It's kind of freaky.
You're wasting your bullets. If you find me, you're not gonna have anything to shoot me with.
Right.
But you know, feel free to go off.
Feel free to go off.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Deceased.
All right. Now, keep going.
Yeah, you're not gonna stop right now, are you?
They're all probably like,
Like, it's not.
is she okay? Like,
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. I feel like not a lot happened.
Yeah. Hold on. What? The ending.
It just. There
just
wasn't
ended.
a lot to it. It was like we focused so much at the beginning on like we're in the Civil War right now, and then like 40 minutes later we go back for like a second.
Yeah. I feel like we got so much backstory for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
It was not like scary.
no, that should not have been a horror movie. I don't know.
Was it like marketed as a horror movie?
Yeah.
That was not a horror movie. I'm sorry
That was
to whoever
very
made
much
that.
a thriller.
That was incorrect of you to say it.
That
It was horror.
Very much a thriller. I'm almost positive it's marketed as a horror movie, but let's check. Make sure I'm not incorrect.
Before we start dragging this man.
Right. Oh, it's suspense. Okay.
Oh, suspense.
Okay. I guess. Like,
Almost 5 stars. People seem to like it.
yeah, but the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes say otherwise.
Oh,
It's like a 28%.
okay.
I could see why.
See why?
Like, I have so many questions.
Questions that you answer.
Questions that need answers. Like, what? I wouldn't watch it again. I don't
No,
think.
it was not worth the $22 that, or $20 that we
Amazon
spent.
need to run me my money because I just
Yeah.
I want that back.
Give me that.
Can I be like, I bought this on accident? Like,
And they're
they'd
like,
be
you watched it all the way
Sir,
through.
per our last email or our records show, you freaking watched the whole movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I did that on accident. I didn't mean to. Very much can wait till it hits Netflix. Very much not worth it. in my opinion.
Yeah. Perfectly not splendid, not loaded.
It's not loaded, period.
Not loaded. Not loaded, love. It's not it.
It's not it. And we're back, guys. So yeah, I think that is all we have today. You got anything else you need to say, Sarah? Get off your chest.
Let me check my notes.
Amazing. Yeah, guys, we have notes. We got to make sure we're on track.
We were prepared for this.
Prepared. This is our first one, so we'll get better.
Oh yeah, I think we kind of talked about this, but like, you know how the guy was like the owner of like the Civil War reenactment place or whatever? Did he just have that as like a front for like what he wanted to do, really?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or
did he start off like actually reenacting it like normal, and then he just it became this like infatuation with this, and it became like, let me just be terrible.
Yeah.
Or I feel like stuff like that is like deep rooted. Like you've just been trash your whole life. So I feel like it's more so a front. Like he was like, yes, we're gonna put this real reenactment place in the front as a facade to all the
just to disguise it,
all the crap we got going on in the back. Yeah, I think so. That makes more sense to me.
And also I feel like he said something about, or like hinting that there were more places like this.
Yes, he was like, we're everywhere but nowhere, something like that.
So like,
or are they trying to make a second one?
Yeah. Are they gonna like launch some sort of investigation, try to shut down more of these reenactment sites, maybe just put all of them on pause and investigate them a bit?
Maybe. Who knows though? I don't think this story cannot have it. We'll never find out. I don't think this story can have a part 2. Like, even if they take that one little line of him saying, we're everywhere but nowhere, I feel like part 2 just wouldn't make sense. Like,
that could just be like a commentary on like how people are like terrible people like this are hidden everywhere.
Which is true.
And they're like coming out of the woodworks, especially with the situation right now with our current president, all that issue. Everybody's just coming up and starting to say what they want to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's more so what it meant. That makes more sense to me. Yeah, he's saying there's sneaky people, there's terrible people
everywhere.
People who think like me everywhere, but you'll never know. Because for the longest, nobody knew he was that person. Yeah. Because he had hit it so well. He was trash. But I think that is all we have for this week, guys. This was fun. This is our first time, so I'm excited to edit all this.
Don't judge us too harshly for.
Yeah, give us some time. We'll get seasoned.
Be patient.
It'll flow better as we go on.
Constructive criticism is welcome.
Please,
but don't bully us.
Don't bully us. I will bully you back.
I will attack you on our Instagram account.
Absolutely not. But don't come for me, please. I think that it's all. Our next episode is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street. Is that what we're shooting for?
I would like to.
Okay. So I think we're going to do 19 on Elm Street.
19 on Elm Street.
19 on Elm Street, period. No, we're going to do Nightmare on Elm Street, the classic.
One of my favorite horror movies.
Yes. So that's going to be coming out next week. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, make sure you tell your friends, your mom, your dad, your uncles, your cousin, your baby mama, baby daddy, whoever, to listen in. And we will be back. Alrighty. We'll see you later. Bye.
See ya.
Peace out. Got a blast. Gotta go.